Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So today we'll be talking about the brake segment of the car. We'll be explaining you how the brakes function. We'll be talking about the different types of brakes, and also we'll be having a hands-on session on the brakes and the parts of the brakes. Apart from that, we have big news to discuss about related to sustainability, and towards the end we'll have a safety tip for you guys. So make sure to go through that. So before we move on to the news and the sustainability segment, make sure that you like the video if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe it because it helps us grow. So the big news for this week is that the Climate Week event has started at the New York City, and it is a 7-day event. It will be starting on from 21st September. It is basically about raising awareness about the climate change that has been happening over the years. And the biggest news was that there is a 24-meter display in Times Square that shows the amount of time we have left to actually act and reverse this climate change that is taking place. So the thing is, we have got 7 years and 102 days as of 21st September, but this timeline is to keep the temperature of Earth below 1.5 degrees Celsius, like not making it increase more than 1.5 degrees Celsius from what it was before, because once it happens we cannot go back to what the Earth was. And we all know that the time on Earth is not infinite, but we can actually make it better for ourselves. So this is actually the common timeline, and it has been put together by artists and scientists to let the world know how much time we collectively have to react on the climate change globally. It's not just for New York City or for United States. It's for the global events that are taking place that are actually causing this vast climate change. In other news, Tesla had its battery day on 22nd September, and in the program they revealed a lot of things, not as many as we had expected, but still there were many updates. First was the battery change that is supposed to give 16% more range than the current models and 5 times more energy. Apart from that, 500,000 Cybertrucks have been pre-ordered by people. So the numbers are not confirmed, they are backed up by a third party which is not very reliable, but they do look very promising. Apart from that, they are also planning to launch a $25,000 version of the vehicle, which is supposed to attract customers who cannot afford the higher ranges. So these are the 3 main updates from Tesla. The link to more has been posted down in the description below, so make sure you check it out.
As mentioned in the second podcast, this video will be about vehicle braking systems. Hi, my name is Abhay and I'm the brakes and wheels in charge at Team Inferno. So what are brakes? When it comes to vehicle safety, the braking system plays a crucial role. A well-maintained braking system can be the difference between an accident or a potential tragedy. As the regular maintenance of the braking system is crucial, we should not skip over them or have the braking system deteriorate. So why are the braking system important, and why a good quality brake is required? A car can have all the power in the world, but if it does not have a good braking system, then all that power is wasted. A person can be a better driver if they know that the brake can stop them in less distance. This enables them to push further and have a better braking point. This is really helpful in really fast-paced motorsports and racing. There are 2 types of braking systems, rim brakes and hydraulic brakes. Rim brakes. As the name suggests, the rim of the wheel is used to stop the vehicle. This is done by having rubber bushes come in contact with the rim of the wheel to bring the vehicle to a stop. This mechanism is generally used as it's inexpensive, it is light, it is easy to maintain, it is simple, but it's very powerful. These brakes perform very bad in wet conditions, but these brakes require a lot of regular maintenance as the brake pads wear down easily. The other type of brakes are hydraulic brakes. The principle behind any hydraulic brakes is simple. Forces are applied at one point and it is transmitted to another by the means of an incompressible fluid. Hydraulic braking system transmits brake pedal force to the caliper by the means of pressurized fluid, converting fluid pressure to useful work of braking at the wheels. There are 6 parts in hydraulic brake setup: master cylinder, brake lines, brake fluid, brake pads, the caliper and the rotor. There are majorly 4 types of rotors: slotted rotors, plain rotors or smooth rotors, drilled rotors and drilled and slotted rotors. Performance car calipers are generally 8 piston calipers instead of the normal 4 or 6. Some of the recent cars even have massive 10 piston calipers like the Lamborghini Urus and the Porsche Turbo S. The number of pistons does not mean more braking power. A 4 large piston caliper can stop equally as good as 6 smaller piston calipers. It all depends on the surface area covered. Brake line pressure generally vary from normal cars and MTB lines too. Normal brake line pressure in cars under heavy braking is 1000 psi. The rupture point of rubber hosed brake lines are 7000 psi, but the steel braided brake lines can go upwards of 15,000 psi. Now on to the hands-on session of the video.
So guys, welcome to the hands-on session of the video. Here I'll be explaining you how the different types of brakes work and what are its components. So we'll move this disc aside for a while. First we have got this cable. This is a high tension cable which is attached to the brake lever and it ends up to the brake shoe. So when you pull the brake lever, which is this is the brake lever. When you pull the brake lever from here and you apply pressure over here, the high tension cable which passes through here and ends up being locked over here in this part here is pulled, and it is pulled, and then the brake shoes which are along the rim of the bicycle wheel are pressed against the wheel, which help in stopping the bicycle. So this is the most basic form of braking that is used amongst the bicycles provided around. The other type of braking is the hydraulic braking, which involves the use of a disc, and it involves the use of hydraulic brakes. So these are the hydraulic brakes. Now how do the hydraulic brakes function? So the hydraulic brakes function in a similar way to the cable brakes, but there is one minor difference. In the hydraulic brakes, you have got a hydraulic fluid that is running along the lines up till the end of the brakes. So you have got hydraulic fluid passing from here till here, and it is a high pressure fluid. So what happens is when you apply the brakes over here, the pressure is applied into the fluid, and there are pistons at the end of the brakes. That is, we have got pistons over here and here. So when you apply pressure to the fluid presses the pistons, which in return press these brake pads. These are the brake pads you can see. So these brake pads are pressed, and the disc which is rotating in between these brake pads is stopped, okay, and it helps in slowing down the vehicle. So basically this disc, it goes right in here. Now disc brakes are way better than the cable brakes since they have a uniform stopping power, but the maintenance on these ones is high. That's why it's not preferred by many people out there. We use hydraulic brakes because we need stopping power at an angle, or in case there's an emergency at the track. Moving on with the safety tip of the day. Now, since this episode was completely based on brakes, I'm going to tell you a safety tip based on brakes. So you need to make sure that before you head out on a long drive or on a long distance journey, that you check your brakes, especially the brake discs and the brake pads. So in brake discs, if your brake discs are not aligned, or if they are not uniform, or they are not like they are very rough on the surface, then you should get them changed, and you should always change them in pairs. It should not be a single disc that is replaced. So make sure that your brake discs are replaced if they are slightly damaged, because they can cause uneven braking in the tires. Apart from that, you should always check your brake pads. Now brake pads are relatively easy to check. You don't need to open anything up. You can just bend down and check them, and if you see a less than 2 mm thickness in the brake pads, then you should get them replaced, because the braking power will be comparatively less, and in emergency situations it can be dangerous. Apart from that, you should always check the brake lines and the brake fluids, that the vehicle has the optimum amount of brake fluid present in it. Also, the brake line should not have any cracks or any bendings that could cause leakage of brake fluid and compromise you in a situation where there is an accident or there's a maneuver that you have to do in case of an emergency. So keep these tips in mind and stay safe. Looking forward to have you on the next episode, that is episode 9. Till then, goodbye guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like our video if you enjoyed it, and do comment what you want in the next video.